Hey guys, we're back with another throwback video, and this just might be the one I was looking forward to most, because I think this is the one I have most to talk about, really, out of all the other throwbacks. Well, maybe not. The Call of Duty Zombies ones were pretty talkative, but this game today we're going to be doing, which I hope some of you guys know. It wasn't a super popular game. I know Fishsticks from Mob Crush knows about it. I'm not sure if any of you guys do. I hope you do, because this game meant so much to me back in the day. And Graal Classic, that's the name of the game. And it was, it's a game I believe that came out in 2010. It might have actually been earlier, but I started playing in 2010 on my iPod. I think it might have already been a game on PC. I'm pretty sure actually it was out on PC earlier. It has a more popular version of it. This is just called Graal Classic. There's like Graal Gangsters and that kind of stuff. But it started in 2010, and it was an MMO, I guess that would be the best way to describe it. It's massively multiplayer online, but it wasn't really an RPG, so it was just an MMO. Zelda Game Boy style graphics, like Minish Cap. If you ever played that, it kind of looks like that, if you can make the comparison. And the whole attraction of the game, I suppose, was the fact that there was, there's a competitive aspect to it, and that was the guilds or clans. I'm not sure. I think the people were called the guilds then, or do call them guilds. And that was really the main attraction of the game. That's why I got invested in it, because I back in the day, in 2010, I was like, what, 13 years old? And I wanted to be a part of something online, like a clan or a guild, and just have online friends, I suppose. That's what I was all about. And this game had like a lot of fashion and sense with it too. Like people would like, that's how I learned HTML, but I'll get in a second. Pretty much, guys, looking back, this game served mostly as a preteen dating website type of video game, because if you go to the main town in the very middle, I'm sure at the beginning of the gameplay, I think somewhere you would have seen it, there's like a bunch of people, and all their advertising, or all they used to advertise back in the day, was like, hey, do you want to come back to my house? And you could have like houses if you rent them out or something, you buy them with like the Graal points or whatever, and you could take people there, you could warp people there, and people would pretend by using the fist button to like have sex with each other and kiss each other. A lot of people did that. I never really got into it. I'm being honest here, guys. I probably thought about it at the age, but it just never really interested me. I mean, I already knew what PR0N was, so I really didn't need that whole thing where you pretend to screw people in a pixelated video game. But that was a huge aspect of the game, especially in the chat rooms or the chat areas where people would be together. But for the other people who weren't so serious about online preteen dating, the main point for others was sparing and joining clans and guilds, and to take over these different towers and fortresses for hours at a time. And this game was very time consuming. If you wanted to get up on the leaderboards, you had to control a tower for hours and hours on end, and the only way you could do that is if you had a very loyal guild, or if you yourself were involved in a crap load of the time. So if you guys were there back in the day playing Graal, I was part of a clan called Red Assassins, if you guys have heard of it. I was not really one of the big people in Red Assassins, but I mean, I was friends with Fatal. Fatal was one of the leader at the time. I'm not sure who the co-leaders were or their names, I don't remember them. But he was the leader of Red Assassins. He was the main man. And he recruited me one day at one of those northernmost, I think they actually changed it now, that doesn't exist anymore. But there's like this northernmost fortress on the map, and it had like a bunch of booby traps and whatnot. And that's where I first met him. He recruited me. I was just like a noob with a little bald head, blue armor and blue-white armor and that kind of stuff. And he recruited me. I guess he was just trying to take over the thing. He didn't really know me. Sometimes they just spam recruit everybody around the tower to make it easy for themselves. And I joined Red Assassins, and that was the day I joined it. And I was very motivated to make my own guild, or at least have my own part in the fame of Red Assassins. So there was already a Red Assassins too. Sometimes you would have multiple guilds, so you could have because there was a guild capped. You could only have 25 people in your guild or clan. I'm just gonna call them guilds, but in your, for example, Red Assassins and every other guild had a cap of 25 players. So sometimes you'd have Red Assassins 2, or like multiple guilds of the same name, so that your other guilds can take over the different towers, and then the other one would take over from there, because you always want to get the most hours to the main guild. And I created Red Assassins 3. I was leader of Red Assassins 3 and actually took over some towers, which eventually I had to hand over, but I was pretty obnoxious about it to Fatal, because I used to say like, hey, give Red Assassins 3 some hours, let him get a little bit on the leaderboards, and he's like, hey, chill out, man. Red Assassins 1 is priority, and I was like, you know what, fine. And then one thing led to another, and I'm pretty sure this was the Red Assassins. Or actually, no, Red Assassins just ended. I forgot why. I think somebody just deleted our clan or guild or something, and one of the moderators on the video game just deleted on accident or something. We had like 3,000 hours or something. It was insane. We were top 3 on the leaderboards. So that Fatal was super depressed, and he created a new Assassins guild called Snow Assassins. Now this is the one I believe ended up being way more popular and way more famous throughout the game than Red Assassins. Snow Assassins is what I was even more involved in, and we got second. We actually got all the way back up from 3rd place, where we got deleted. We had like 3,000 hours of tower control, and we went all the way back to second with a couple thousand more. And we were second on the leaderboard, but we got reset again because a hacker joined. We accidentally recruited a hacker. We didn't know he was a hacker, but we accidentally recruited him, and he could like go through walls and stuff. And one of the moderators saw that we had the hacker on our guild helping us, and he deleted the clan again. We had to reset all over, and we had 0 hours again. Now, around this time, it was a very tough time for Snow Assassins. We only got like 800 hours. It sounds like a lot, but it was, for the leaderboards, it was not that much. We're like in the top 5, I guess, or top 10. But Snow Assassins only got to like 800 hours, and I had like a falling out of the whole guild or whatever. I'm not even sure why. This was like preteen stuff, guys. I don't know. I wasn't mature, but I left the clan, and after that I think I joined some other clan for a little bit, but eventually I got bored of the game and quit the game in general. Not because I wanted to, actually. That's just an excuse to make myself seem more mature at the time, but the reason I actually quit was because I dropped my iPod 2 into a sewer, which I've discussed in other videos in the past, but yeah, it fell into a sewer, I'm pretty sure. I never actually saw it fall, but I was getting out of the car to go to my bus stop, and I think it just fell out of my pocket when I was getting out, and then at the curb there was a sewer thing, so I'm pretty sure it fell in there. Some other nostalgic things that you guys may know or remember from the game: Eyeball, Pulse, Venus Gospel, Chain of Memories. These were all gigantic guilds and clans that in the end ended up being way bigger than Snow Assassins. Pulse was the original big guys, and Eyeball too. I think Eyeball was the original big guys, then Pulse, then Chain of Memories, and then Venus Gospel absolutely just went insane. They had like 15,000 hours or something total on the leaderboards, and I think they're still first. I think they still own that game, and I had about 700 hours on the game myself, even though, I wasn't there for the most of the tower taking, but I had 700 hours on my own of the game. I had a very good sparring record, if that means anything to you guys. Like I said before, you could have your own house, you could have your own furniture, invite people back to it, and the only reason I ever learned any HTML in my life was for the game, so I could make like cool advertising for my clans and stuff like that. And you could use Paint. This wasn't part of the HTML stuff, but you could actually use Paint and upload your own different, fashionable hats and shields and all that cool stuff. So yeah, it was just a really big part of my preteen growing up, I suppose. And overall, it was a game experience to remember. I mean, this was my first massively multiplayer online experience. This is how I started making friends online. This is my first, massively social interaction on the internet, and I'm probably gonna remember it till the day I die. Not with pride, maybe, but I don't know. But that's it for the video. Hope you guys enjoyed this throwback. Leave a comment if you guys were part of Graal as well, and I'll see you guys. Thanks for watching.